Alright, let's get started today by talking about angles. Everything you need to know about angles. So two rays, remember from last year, a ray is when you have a defined input, a defined beginning, a line that goes on in one direction. If I put two of those together, I have formed an angle. I now have an angle right here. So that is what we would measure for that angle. That common input, that dot, that point, that is our vertex. Can you read that? Vertex. Alright, you can name your angle. You can give it a name. Preferably not Fred or Bob, but we can use our letters here to name it. So, here are our ideas, our suggestions here. How to name an angle. So, you could just say, hey, I got angle Y. But sometimes the diagrams, if you look below, there's a lot of letters. So, that might be confusing. So, another way you can name it is to assign a number. So, they said, oh, we're going to have one angle, so we'll call it angle 1. Or you can use 3 letters right here. So this is the most kind of exact, most common way you're going to name an angle. So the reason they call it XYZ is because it starts at X, it goes to Y, it ends at Z. And if I go backwards, I start at Z, I go to Y, I end at X. So I go in that order that I read those letters off. Notice Y is in the center of both of those, because that's the vertex. The vertex is the middle letter in that name, and that is kind of a crucial part of naming it that way. Alright, things you should already know right here. You should already know a right angle is 90 degrees. Look for those. Look for those 90-degree angles because you can use that to find a missing piece in a diagram. The other one I need you to watch out for are those straight lines. A straight angle, you're going to use that 180 degrees over and over again. Okay? So we need to know those two things. And it is nice to be able to use the terminology. Acute is when you have an angle smaller than a right angle, so it is less than 90 degrees. And then anything that is over the 90 degrees, that's when we call that obtuse. You're too big to be a right angle. Alright, we good with that? 2 words that might be new to us. We need to highlight these 2 words. Complementary, supplementary. Those are 2 words you will see on your next test. Highlight them. Alright, 2 angles that are complementary form a 90-degree angle. So I told you to watch out for those. Watch out for that little box. That tells me that angle 1 and angle 2 add up to 90 degrees. Supplementary. 2 angles that make a straight line. So, if I see a straight line, I know if I add angle 1 and angle 2, they're going to equal 180 degrees. Awesome. That will be very helpful for you in the next couple lessons. Remember that. Looking at number 1 through 4, this should be really quick. We're going to find the measure and give it, what is its name as far as acute, obtuse, or right. So PQR. I'm looking for a PQR. See that angle there? It is 90-degree angle, which means we need to call it a right. RQS, RQS, find it, highlight it, that is our 60-degree angle. If I look up above, that means it is less than 90, so it is acute. UQR. Find it. UQR. So that is referring to this angle right there. So I have 90 plus 30, 120 degrees. That is over the 90-degree limit, so we call that obtuse. You're too big. Can you read that? Good. All right, now I have one more. PQT. PQT. Look at that all lined up right in a row. So I have, they're going up top here. They're going this way. They have a 90, a 60, and a 30. All three of those angles added together equal 180 degrees, which tells me I'm dealing with a straight line, a straight angle. All right, just to remember those fancy words about angles. Now let's look at this diagram. We're looking at this diagram right here to answer the following questions. All right, they're going to help us out a little bit too. They even tell us what to add. NKL. So I'm going to come over here and look for NKL. And LKO. So I'm going to come over here and look for LKO. The first one was 70 degrees and that second one is 20 degrees. So add those together and we get 90, right? What do we call two angles that add up to 90 degrees? If you look up top, I hope it says complementary. Write that down, complementary. All right, I'm going to erase those. Now I can mark it up with my JKO. JKO. Look for that in our diagram, JKO. See that obtuse angle right there? So I have my 160, that's the first angle, and OKL. OKL. That's that 20-degree angle again, OKL. So if I add those two angles together, I get 180 degrees. I form a straight line. So what do we call two angles that add up to 180? Supplementary. All right, so those are the key words from this lesson. Two angles that add up to 90 are complementary. Two angles that add up to 180 are supplementary.